Okay. So here we are talking. The scene is Cap has just beat her frustrations and whatever else M wants to throw into that punching bag out in a punching bag, and perhaps retired to her quarters to clean up.
And she had to really sort out some very, very complicated feelings. And for some reason, she was, she thought, well, I'm just going to go to the gym and punch something. Just like focus on the physical exertion, exhausting herself a little bit, really just getting through all of the maelstrom of emotions that she doesn't understand. And just finding a way to work through them, and for some reason, unknown to her, that made sense. So she's gone back to her quarters now to get the sweat off and settle down with a bottle of water, feet up on the table, and just kind of leaving her mind blank for a few moments.
Does she eventually fight Nemo?
Well, sorry, I
You really had to make that joke, did you?
Wait, what?
You didn't
Finding
even realize?
Nemo.
That wasn't intentionally a joke.
Sorry, my mistake. I thought. Never mind. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking he would show up at her door. No, she lets her mind go blank for a few moments, and then gets another thought, and goes to find her android, Nemo.
Nice save there. Well,
Now, if she wants to have a conversation in private, she can just invite him to her room.
I don't think she's not at the point right now where she wants to be alone with the android in her private quarters.
Okay. The ship is huge. There are a lot of other areas that they could talk.
Yeah.
yep. It's currently preoccupied doing something very much not all that important, namely watching intercepting the transmission from the planet below. That is apparently an educational puppet show on the importance of closing the door so the heat doesn't get out.
That is a very educational and very important thing for them. That, and so that all that hydrogen doesn't get in and explode them all. Exploding noises.
Yes, I imagine a lot of fun could be had in children's TV with that too.
Oh yeah. He's not hard to find.
If he's sitting down somewhere that is there like a seat across him, like just where is he in the crew? One of the lounge areas.
Yeah, sitting down somewhere with access with easily access to current, where he's not in the way of anyone, or he's seemingly just staring dreamingly into space, following a transmission that only he can hear.
She'll flop down on a couch across from him and just kind of stare at him for a minute, waiting for him to, to acknowledge her presence.
Captain, what an unexpected surprise. Can I be of service somehow?
Yeah, I think you can. We've really got to talk.
We are talking now.
That expression of just slight frustration appears on her face if he can read.
Oh yeah, he can absolutely see that. Tilts his head, looking.
Like she's sitting, and like one hand is close to her shoulder, and she's kind of moving the hand, and like she's processing through something she wants to say in her head.
In fact, seeing that gives him making sure both a slightly confused and slightly concerned look.
We have to find you some social context where you are able to not only interact with us, but with people outside without ruining some of those social niceties with your very blunt and honest observations. Because if you don't learn how humans interact with each other and be able to interact with them in that way, it's going to cause problems.
You believe that I will cause unintentional offense to people?
Yes. You already have.
I did not realize that. How so?
If I may add, just to refresh memory, I don't remember the exact words, but there were some jarring-ish comments made when Cap was making the decision to bring the kid and the old man on board.
Yes.
And she may not remember the exact words either.
I don't remember, yeah.
Yeah, if any of us want to...
I didn't remember either.
We've got the VOD if any of us want to know the exact words, but that impression was still there.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so
Nemo can go back and call that.
Yeah. So she'll say, like when basically what DM just said, and there have been other times when you have made comments when we're out in public that while they're good observations, that isn't the place to discuss them openly. There's a lot that we don't need other people knowing. So learning when to speak and how to say things in a more tactful manner. I want to help you with that. Because right now, you're scaring people. Hell, you scare me. And you're my android.
I have noticed your discomfort in my presence, Captain. I believe me when I say that it has not been my intention to cause discomfort in anyone.
I know it's not intentional, and I don't remember ever dealing with androids before.
Wait, that statement was slightly incorrect. It was my intention to cause discomfort in the man I engaged in physical combat down on the planet's surface.
She just gives him a look.
But that is not the point here. I understand.
Yeah.
Captain, if I may be frank and ask directly.
Sure.
do you feel that my nature as an android is something that is best concealed from people?
Yes.
Why?
A lot of folks probably would feel uncomfortable.
So it would make you more comfortable if I were to lie to these people.
It's not exactly lying, it's just admitting some of the truth. There's a difference. It's like when you see someone who's wearing something that you really don't think flatters them and you tell them that they look nice anyway because you don't want to hurt their feelings. That kind of harmless omission of the truth. Because it's not going to get them killed if they don't know that you're an android. Unless they're trying to kill us, and then, well, that's different situation entirely. But do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I was currently weighing your concerns against my inherent desire to, well, remain honest in my interactions with people, but I understand the problem and the dilemma.
Honesty is a good thing to a point, but if you are too honest, it could endanger my crew. And you. And I don't want that. I do value you. You are an asset to us.
Thank you, Captain. It's most kind of you to say so. May I ask a second question?
Go ahead.
Would it lessen the unease you feel in interacting with me if I were to conceal my android nature?
I mean, I know what you are. It doesn't, like, when you're here on the ship, and it's just us, it's just the crew, it's just your friends, be who you want to be.
Yes. You would consider me a friend, Captain?
She just kind of looks at him with a slightly blank look and then keeps going. In other social situations, though, concealing what you are and just how much you can do is a good thing because people will see you as less of a threat. And I imagine you've seen our criminal files. People know who we are. They think we're a big enough threat already.
That does make sense. So...
Also, I don't always need a really in-depth analysis of every situation. Give me the highlights. Unless I ask for a detailed analysis.
So you would trust me to weed out unimportant data for you and only present you with curated data.
Yes.
That does make sense.
I trust everyone else to do the same thing. Why shouldn't I trust you?
Like earlier when Dude was trying to convey the information of his repair work to you, and that information was clearly not being processed correctly.
Yes, but we're humans.
I understand that, Captain. I was trying to make an strong example, but I understand your point. So you believe it would be more... It would put you and others at more at ease if I were to emulate human behavior in a much more consistent degree,
Yeah.
including the illogical and inefficient parts of it.
Those are social niceties, and yeah, I can see there are completely illogical. Probably inefficient, but you gotta do them.
It is certainly within my capabilities to do so.
Basically, you gotta observe the social niceties so you don't piss people off. Because when people get angry, they're more likely to shoot you. I think you've ever been shot up enough. Hell,
quite agree.
I've been shot at enough now to not want to ever have a gun shoved in my face again.
I assure you it was an unpleasant experience for me. I can only imagine it must be much more distressing for someone without artificial nerves.
I'm really kind of surprised how well I held it together, I'll be honest with you. Kind of scares me too.
The fact that you have substantial combat experience.
Aside from yesterday in that tower, not that I know of.
Exactly.
Not that I remember.
But clearly the reflexes are there. Dormant programs, if you will, kicking in.
I gotta be honest with you, Nemo. If the way that I was yesterday is the way that Porcelain is every day, I don't want to be like her. I felt cold and numb while I blew a hole in that man's head.
So, you would rather be someone else?
I'd rather be me.
That's a good point. You are someone else, and you would rather not be burdened with the prior reputation, actions, and behavior of a person that you do not remember being.
Pretty much. Like dude says, fresh start.
But it would only truly be a fresh start if everyone who remembered who you used to be were also, well, were also to forget.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
But it would only truly be a fresh start if everyone who remembered who you were to forget.
Well, at least my criminal history's been wiped clean, though. I don't trust it. Of course, it also says that I'm dead, which obviously I'm sitting across from you right now.
Unless, of course, you really aren't Porcelain. Porcelain truly is dead.
Genetically identical, though. How does that work?
Presumably, there would be a pre-technology that could achieve such feats.
Don't know. Wouldn't remember if there were.
With sufficient work on my core programming, and with access to the right equipment, I believe I could modify my own genetic sequence, such as it is. Of course, this is just idle speculation.
Can you do that?
Currently, no. Do I have the potential to do so? Yes.
Damn.
At least, I believe I can. It's my hypothesis that I could.
Nemo can see in his coding, what he can glimpse of it. He can see Velcro-like hooks for different sequences of data, and that's probably what he's pulling from.
Right. What I know I could do is that I can, as you express a desire to, I can literally be someone else with slight effort.
Well, I don't want you to be somebody else. I want you to be you.
Actually,
Just
smiles a bit at that.
You are a member of my crew, whether you're human or not. I just need you to behave a little bit less like Clark.
Nemo looks incredibly confused at that.
With the brash kind of lack of social graces, and more like, what was it?
So you don't want me to be that kind of human?
No. You remember on Planet with Spam? Mona.
That is the best name ever. Planet of the Spam.
You're welcome. I couldn't think of Mona. I'm sorry.
I couldn't remember it either.
You said something that made us both know exactly what you were talking about.
Right. Sometimes words.
Welcome to Mona, Planet of the Spam. Sorry. On Mona.
When we were interacting with Rajuan.
I do.
And the kind of social dance where there was a lot of politeness and a lot of kind of dancing around what we were really after because we couldn't directly say.
Mm-hmm. And why you were really there.
Well, yeah. And without saying, hey, we don't remember who the flip we are.
Yes, so misdirection. Omission.
And honesty with tact. At least most of the time. There are times when being tactful is not the way to go. But that's one of those things we all stumble through and learn as we go, and I imagine you will too a little bit. But
are there other humans that you specifically avoid being like?
Tom.
Noted.
Honestly, even me to a degree. What I did back there on Rain and trying to intimidate them may not have been the best course of action. That's my mistake, and I left a lot of people dead. And I have to live with that.
Perhaps, but I have already compiled a substantial archive of your voice and mannerism in situations where leadership is required, and I believe that they are most effective in such situations.
That's the other thing.
Yes?
It's a little creepy.
Oh. You'd rather I not inform you?
No, I'm glad I know what you've been staring at me and following me around for now.
Yes, I've been compiling data.
Try to do it in a little bit more subtle of a manner.
Ah, yes. Misdirection again, of course. Be less overt to avoid drawing attention and potential and unnerving the people being observed.
Yeah. I don't mind you learning from me or from others. Just do it in a more relaxed way.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely, Captain, and I believe that is achievable.
Good. I want to help you. If I didn't want to help you, I would just...
Deactivate me?
I don't know if I could do that now.
What?
I might avoid you like the plague, but I don't think I would deactivate. It just doesn't seem that just doesn't seem right to me.
I don't believe that would be necessary. Oh wait, that was another turn of phrase. Yes.
Yes. Not everything people say is meant to be taken literally.
It is not. Colloquialisms are an interesting inconsistency.
It's because you got them for everywhere that you go, I guess. Dudes are different, mine are different. Dude and I at least seem to speak the same language most of the time.
I've also begun picking up some of the local languages of the planet below us. They're quite fascinating.
How are you doing that?
I'm studying their broadcasts. I'm currently intercepting all non-secured broadcasts from the planet below us.
She actually seems quite surprised. Really? Now there's something useful.
That's how I learned of the fact that Jack was reporting our encounter as a pirate raid.
Wait a second, was this before or after that conversation?
Oh, wait, yeah. This might be before that, actually. So strike that. Yeah, that was probably before that, so strike that.
Yeah, retcon.
Yeah, retcon. That'll follow later. But yes, through internal hardware and software that is not part of my baseline kit, so I really couldn't say where it comes from, but I apparently have an internal black box with the capacity to intercept any and all unsecured communication within a roughly 100-kilometer range.
That is a very, very handy thing. Nice.
Does Cap have an earpiece or a communicator of some sort?
Yeah, she has like a... They all have comms. I assume it's something like an earpiece.
Yeah, and she probably never takes hers out. Well,
maybe when she's sleeping and showering.
Yeah, but if she has it right now, because
And then she can probably broadcast it in the room if she's in the shower.
Yep. Nemo's mouth is specifically and very visibly not moving, as he says directly in her earpiece. I can also communicate like this. Subvocal communication, same range.
It sounds perfectly like his voice, as if he were used to vocal cords.
Oh, that's creepy.
And switches back to normal voice again. My apologies for not informing you earlier, Captain. I was exploring the full extent of this capability.
That's all right. We kind of taking things as we come across them, right?
Of course. A few more days of study, and I should be able to be functional in the local languages.
Well, I have an idea, kind of how I want to tackle the planet. But I need the crew together for that so we can talk about it later. I'm still thinking it over a little bit.
And I will review my files and my personality matrix and consider the best approach for handling your request in social interactions, Captain.
Appreciate that.
One more thing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Does it bother you when I ask permission to ask questions or speak?
A little bit. I mean, in group settings, when I'm trying to have when I'm not trying to have a conversation, when I'm trying to speak and have people listen, hold your questions until after and raise your hand or something to let me know that you have something you want to say and I'll get to you. But everybody talking over me really pisses me off.
Of course. But in more relaxed and informal settings, you prefer an equally informal form of communication. Do I have that? Do I have that right?
Yeah.
Understood.
Because I will tell you to sit down, shut up until I'm done. And I don't think either one of us wants that, really.
I'm perfectly capable of obeying both directives.
She puts her hand on her head and just kind of just shakes it some. And it's just like... Not like face palming, but you know, like there's tension in the front of her head, and she's pressing on it and just shaking her head a little bit. She's like, "That's what I mean about not taking things too literally."
Oh, sorry, Captain. I understand fully, but the changes I would like to effect based on this conversation haven't taken place yet, as I haven't yet updated my systems.
Got it.
But thank you very much for this conversation. It's been incredibly illuminating.
Yeah, I think a bit for me too.
Will effectuate these changes post-haste.
I'll let you know how they're working out. We can fine-tune this as we go along. You're part of my crew and you're my responsibility, so...
Update pending. Restart and apply update. Thank you, Captain. And may I say that I appreciate being treated as a crew member and not
an inanimate object?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, you're not an inanimate object, and you've got quite a mouth on you.
Thank you, Captain. I believe that was intended as a compliment.
Mostly. That's what we call a backhanded compliment.
I see.
Yeah, sometimes your insights are very appreciated. Sometimes I just need you to sip it. hopefully we will get to know each other well enough that I won't have to tell you when to zip it. You'll be able to see it on my face.
With some work, I could install this. With some work, I could install such a modification. Of course, that would run somewhat contrary to the whole notion of not appearing Android-like.
No, I don't want you to...
Okay, I realize that you had no intention of asking me to install such a modification.
Okay, good.
It would also require a substantial amount of work.
Yeah. Hey, you don't need to put that kind of work in right now. We'll get there through more natural means. I know you can learn and adapt. And I'm learning too, so just have to work with each other.
Nothing can please me more, Captain.
And you can just call me Cap.
Would you prefer?
She kind of shrugs a little bit. It's up to you.
Well, it is more efficient.
Yeah.
That was an attempt at a joke. My apologies.
She looks like... She looks tired. Probably more tired than he's seen the captain before between the fight and then probably not sleeping well that night. And then everything from today, including the actual physical exertion of beating the shit out of a punching bag. And then this conversation obviously has started to take its toll on her.
You seem to be in need of rest, Captain.
Do me a favor. Monitor the transmissions.
Of course.
I mean, give yourself time to rest.
I do have a sleep cycle.
Alright, make sure you get enough rest.
It's necessary to defragment and prevent corruption of data. And that's actually mechanically true. I mean, that's part of the house rules, Mike included.
Mm-hmm.
Was an actual sleep cycle?
Yep.
Yes.
He has a little bit more freedom in how he applies it than humans do, but does actually, because of all of the processing and all the data and a lot of it being very wasteful, just kind of data left in places so that processes can move on and do other things instead of focusing on cleaning up. Yeah, there's a lot of cleanup to do, and that's done through a sleep cycle.
Defragmentation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, defragging the hard drive.
And because the Ada or Advan or actually growing, learning things, entities essentially, there's also cleaning up newly formed circuitry pathways so that they're more efficient. You know, something creates new experiences, and the part of the sleep cycle can just like the brain cleaning up the brain.
Yep. So restarting and applying update, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, these androids do dream of electric sheep. That's actually the screensaver when they're updating.
Bah.
Alright, would you guys say that concludes the conversation?
Yep, absolutely. That was a great scene, and that apply it that accomplished exactly what I was hoping for.
Yay!
I'm glad to hear it.
I think it accomplished what we were all hoping for.
Mm-hmm. As I talked with Mike about it earlier, I just felt that it needed an organic explanation for how to get there.
Yeah.
And Nemo actually, because he has these broadcasts, which he can see also, by the way, if there's visual
Yeah,
included.
Yes, I figured I wasn't just listening to the.
Yeah. He can use the people down there are still very human, so he can use a lot of that as information also.
Yep, that was the idea.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, that works perfectly. Thanks, Emma, for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
No problem.
What about my busy schedule?
Yes, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule too, Mike.
Yes, and thank you for doing work for us.
Yeah, as I said, always. I'm always willing to try and talk through and figure out a solution for keeping and making the game fun for everyone.
Yep, this worked perfectly with little effort and a lot of fun involved. So thank you for that.
Yeah, Cap. I'll be honest, and I'm sure you've realized this, Mel. Cap has been kind of frustrated with Nemo just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I noticed.
Because it's it's like having a toddler around, but one that can talk.
I will readily admit that I have deliberately been calling back to and trying to recall and then replicate some of the things about Beta in City of Villains that annoyed my characters the most.
Well, guess what? You've done that and then done it better.
Oh, poor Beta.
But yeah, that was to at least to a large degree very much intentional on my part. I just needed and this was the actual goal that I wanted to work towards the entire time. We just needed some way to get to that point without just having it seem like something that came from out of nowhere.
Yeah. And I agree that's important.
Me too. Hold on one second, guys. I am totally roasting right now.